Hey everyone, it's Minty, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're doing digital art for the first time in forever. I think I've done a digital video like 2 times before, something like that. Either way, it was a long time ago, and the last time I did art on my iPad was probably my profile picture, and aside from that, I haven't really used it for anything apart from thumbnails for my videos and stuff, but not any character drawings like this one. Yeah, I know, I'm not going to be doing it all digitally because I have done this drawing and I'm going to use the sketch of it to trace over for my line art because I cannot draw with my finger on the iPad, okay? I probably could if I had an Apple pen or something, but with my finger it's just gonna look all stiff and wobbly, and that's not gonna work. So the coloring is gonna be the main focus. In ibisPaint there's a lot of options for brushes, and oh, what has happened to my voice? Anyway, what I was going to say is there's a lot of brush options and I didn't really know where to start, but then I remembered in an old Sarah Studio video she used a brush called Fade Watercolor Mix. I think that's the one, and I used number 2 of it, so if any of you have this app you could probably find it pretty quickly. Anyway, that's what I used, and it kind of blends a little bit but not too much, so it doesn't look way too soft. The drawing that I'm doing, as you saw before, is one that I did traditionally first, so I already know the colors that I want to use, and I'm going to use that as a guide and then just adjust it since there's a lot more options digitally. It's another mermaid since it's mermaid, and it's only the second mermaid that I've drawn this month, which isn't a lot, but I'm not doing the challenge so it's fine. I'm just drawing mermaids when I feel like it because who cares? This character's design is inspired by grapes. I don't know why, I just felt like it, so that's what I went with. Hopefully that explains her tail, and now you know that she doesn't have a disease which makes her tail bumpy. She's just inspired by grapes and it's a grape tail, okay? She also has some pretty similar accessories to my OC, which is a mermaid, and her name is Audrey. I did a really recent video on her. So yeah, she has the same white cloth as part of her clothing, and also the gold jewelry is a similarity because I wanted this to be like a friend of hers or someone in the same kingdom, something like that, so they can match in a way. And yes, she is supposed to be cross-eyed because she hit her head because she's clumsy, and she's like holding her head in pain, and she's got fish flying around it and stars and stuff because that's what they do in cartoons. I don't know. I didn't add the stars in the digital version though because I forgot, so it kind of looks a bit weird. And I also ended up getting rid of the bubbles because I got bored. So it's just fish flying around her head, and it doesn't make as much sense, but now you know she hit her head, and that's just expressing that she hit her head. It's such a random thing to draw, I know. Anyway, let me explain my process. My very beginnery process because I do not know what I'm doing. So I start off with the base color in one area, so I'll do like the skin and then move on to the hair. I won't color it all at once. And after that, I just build up color with the Fade Watercolor Mix. And yeah, that's my process. Just kidding, I was trying to explain my process, but as you can see, it didn't really work because I don't exactly have a process. I was just trying my best to make this look decent. Something I can say about how I did this though was using this feature called the Alpha Lock. The Alpha Lock is a very useful tool that I just stumbled upon by accident, and I was like, oh, what does this do? And it ended up helping me so much, and it saved me so much erasing. I don't know exactly how to explain it except that it helps you stay inside the lines. It's really quite a simple tool, and if you want to know what it does, just try it out because I'm not sure how to put it into words. With the tail, I stuck with the same gradient that I did when I drew it traditionally, but I added a lot more detail into it because, well, it's digital and details are a lot easier when you can zoom in. I started by adding these blobs within the end of the tail, so it's supposed to look kind of like jelly-like because grapes, jelly, whatever. It doesn't make sense, but it looks kind of cool in my opinion. So yeah, I did that, and then I shaded around the little bumps to give them some depth to show that they're actually coming off of the tail and they aren't just circles. So at this point it does look a bit creepy. It does look more like warts on her tail, which is really not a good look. But once I add sparkles and stuff to it, I think it looks really cool, and that is clearly not happening yet, but you'll see it later on in the video. I do add a bunch of sparkles using different brushes and a lot of white highlights. I don't think this mermaid is going to be an OC, but if you do want to name her in the comments, that's fine because naming characters is always fun no matter what. One of my favorite parts about this character is definitely the hair. It doesn't make too much sense, but I just think it's pretty creative. She has a bun on the top and then these plait style thingies which are kind of bubbly and I don't know how she would tie that up, but I'm assuming she would go into my OC Audrey's salon and get some special treatment for her hair, which makes it defy every scientific rule ever. But it looks cool, and I love how it kind of poofs out at the end because she actually has quite curly hair. It does kind of remind me of a sheep though because of the colour and how fluffy it is. At this point, the drawing is almost finished. I just need to continue adding details to the hair and the tail. Overall, I do like how the finished product looks, but do I like it more than traditional? No, but it makes sense. If I don't practice my digital, it won't be any better than traditional. Also, since I have to do everything with my finger, it's just not that fun. Maybe if I did have an Apple Pencil and one of those paper-like screen protectors, then I would prefer it because I'd feel more comfortable, but I did kind of get bored of drawing this towards the end, and that's why I didn't add some of the extra details that I had in my traditional one. I mean, this whole process kind of inspired me to do more digital, but I don't think I'll end up doing that just because my sketchbook is right there and I much prefer it, so I don't think I'm going to be practicing my digital much anytime soon, although I might start working on a new profile picture, but other than that, I don't think I'll be doing digital art more often. I added the same purple and blue strips of colour in the hair that I did on the traditional one, but this time I did some lighter ones. They weren't as obvious, but once I added the shines, they look a little bit like ribbons or silk or something that's not hair. I guess if you zoom in closer, you can tell that it's meant to be hair, but from far away, it just looks a bit unnatural. I really couldn't decide on what background to do. I wasn't going to do a full-out landscape or anything like that because I was just getting bored of the whole process, so I decided on a flat colour, and it did take me a couple of tries to decide on which colour, but I went for this pale pink colour, and then I added some white in the background, some patterns and grape shapes, just to make it really clear that she's inspired by grapes and not just lumpy for no reason. Now I'm adding in a little surprise section of the video, which is the creating of this little cute mini-me that was in the corner of the screen for like the whole video and doing little expressions and stuff. I don't know if that was annoying to be placed in the screen, but I think it's cute and it was kind of fun to make. I'm gonna be honest, this one was way more fun to draw than the complicated mermaid drawing. It was just so easy and fun, although it did actually take me 51 minutes. Yeah, almost an hour. That's a really long time for something as simple as this, but who cares? It turned out well, and I did have to make 7 different expressions for it anyway, so that added more time. But yeah, I am a pretty slow drawer and even slower on digital. The complicated mermaid drawing actually took me 4 hours all added together, I think. I don't think I'm going to be adding this character drawing into every single video because it does take a long time to edit in, but if I ever do another digital video, then I guess I'll include it, or I could include it on some of my thumbnails if you guys think that would be cool. Here are the shout outs and the shout out emoji for today. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you enjoyed this type of content on digital and if I should do it more often.